Welcome, everybody, to the 2019 LCK Summer Finals. We are here at the Tiger Dome for Korea University. I'm Valdes. With me are my two wonderful analyst casters, Papa Smithy and LS, aka League Script. We are here to bring you guys the pre-show. We're going to have a bunch of fun for Griffin versus SKT.
Eventually, after I came out to Korea, an opportunity was offered to me to be a broadcaster, and even though I didn't have much experience in front of a camera, I was generally a pretty shy person. I decided I had to take the opportunity because it was too good of an opportunity, and I wouldn't say it was necessarily my dream job, like right from from when I was younger or anything like that. It was something I kind of fell into and then really started to enjoy after doing it a lot and enjoying the lifestyle and being surrounded by esports. So I can say that now, after doing it for a while, it has become my dream job. My name is Brendan Valdes. I am a broadcaster for the LCK in Korea, League of Legends Champions Korea, and I'm 28 years old, and I'm from New York City, America. So being a professional caster is, you have a lot of freedom. It's almost like there's too much freedom, because especially for me in general, I will only cast about 2 to 3 times a week, and it's at night from about 5 to 10 or 11 p.m. And that means I have even, half the day to do basically whatever I want. Obviously, I spend a decent amount of time studying the game. Like, I watch a lot of the other regions to catch up on the current meta within the game, how the other players are playing, how the other broadcasters are broadcasting, what can I learn from them. And I also spend a lot of time playing the game, so even though it's not officially part of my casting job, like it's not actually the job, it's still a lot of preparation that I do need to put into it. And it takes a lot of time, but it's very enjoyable for me because I love League of Legends and I can watch it all day long, I can play it all day long. So a lot of professional casters will tell you a similar thing where, even for traditional sports, if they are a baseball commentator, they're watching a lot of baseball, studying the players, all this stuff. And it's the same thing for us in esports, where we're watching a lot of regions, learning about the players, playing the game. I guess that might be something different between esports and traditional, is that we actually are playing the game a lot, hands-on in a way, whereas most traditional commentators aren't going out and playing baseball. So there's a lot of prep that goes into it, but it's very free. You have a lot of free time, which can be actually a blessing and a curse, because you can find yourself getting lazy and spending a lot of your time just playing other games, or going out a lot, having fun rather than focusing on your job. But it's also great to have all that free time where you can be focused and put in the effort for the job or for just improving your craft or something like that. So the best thing about it, I guess, is the freedom it provides, and also honestly just playing a game and enjoying the game that you really love to play. I mean, it's a video game, so it's very fun to be involved in, with your work in something that you really enjoy like that. And I would say that almost all the professional esports casters would say the same, that they just love being part of the scene and in the game that they really love. And the worst thing, I guess, might be the schedule. There's not really a lot of downsides, I could say. I mean, it is really high focus and stressful. Spending 5 hours under the lights in front of a camera, you have to be on every single night, which sometimes you know it's just not a great day, and you still have to go into work and you still have to do your job, and it can be difficult because of the stress level, and also you can end pretty late at night. Like I've had nights where it's gone really late until like 12:30, and then I'm really hungry after expending all this energy, and I end up staying up late like 2-3 a.m. because it like messes with my sleep schedule, because being on camera and expending all that energy, you need time to wind down afterwards. You can't just like go home and fall asleep right away. So I would say that would be one of the downsides, but there really aren't many, in my opinion, for what I do.
Because it was a very, dominant, it was a cool build on Echo. And then Maru really came back swinging. He really just, did quite well. So I was expecting, TY to be here and this is Maru, and he was going to be just like bashing him like this, but it was kind of just like back and forth, you know, just lots of blows being thrown both ways. And all these games are very, very close.
I would consider myself a play-by-play caster, and the difference between the two, play-by-play and color, is that a play-by-play is there mostly to provide the excitement, to host the show, to bring in all the viewers, and kind of engage them, and welcome them. We're always the first ones to speak and say, "Welcome to the LCK. We have great games today."
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the LCK here live at LOL Park. The LCK must go on with the 2020 Spring Finals here. It is me, Valdes, with LS, bringing you all the action live here on the desk. We are finally back, LS. It feels so amazing to be back. That intro was so hype.
A color caster is someone who provides the analysis, so they will be higher level in the game. They would have spent a lot more time with the game, analyzing it. Maybe they've been a coach of a team, or they've considered doing that because they have a very deep knowledge of the game. And that's not, it doesn't mean that play-by-play casters don't have that analytical content or the ability to analyze the game, or that a color caster doesn't have the ability to be the host of the show. But it'll most of the time just cater to whatever you have done more with the game. So for me, I came in with a lot of play-by-play experience because I used to cast with a lot of analytical commentators for StarCraft 2, and then the same thing for League of Legends. They were looking for a play-by-play, so I just had a little bit less experience with analyzing the game and being surrounded by League of Legends, because it had already been out for a long time when I started to go full-time into League. So that's kind of how I ended up as a play-by-play commentator. So the highest number of viewers that I've ever broadcasted in front of was definitely nearing 200,000, combined, of course, because for the English stream we usually have Twitch, we have YouTube, and then there's multiple other smaller ones. I think Facebook was in there for a while as well. And for some of the really big matches, like the finals of the LCK, especially if a team like SKT, or currently now T1, is playing, because they have so many fans from all over the world, so it really brings in a lot of viewers. So the first couple of times I did that, it made me a little bit more nervous and more excited that so many people were watching me. But the interesting thing about our job is that mostly we are just speaking into a camera to the internet, because the local audience is all Korean. So obviously there can sometimes be really massive Korean crowds, but our voices aren't going directly to that audience. So it's more like we are speaking into the camera, or into the internet, as weird as that sounds. So there is a little bit of disconnection there. Casting in front of huge crowds with your voice going out to the crowd, I did that once in Poland, actually, for about 11,000 viewers. That was really insane, and very, it hypes you up so much. There's like so much adrenaline in that kind of scenario. So yeah, it's just a really exciting job for sure. Right now I'm working at Riot as a freelance caster, but we also do have a lot of other stuff that we do with Riot, including interviews from time to time. We do some side content. There's a podcast for the LCK, and there's also a lot of more content that's quickly being produced, and they are trying to do more and more at Riot right now. So originally I was mainly just a caster that would show up, twice a week and then go home. But nowadays it's really becoming a full-time job in many different ways, where I'm producing other content. I'm also at my own house. I do streaming, and that's a way for me to try to build my own brand and make some money on the side. And even though it's, nowadays, because I do have a lot of other work at Riot, and also other companies that hire me for freelance casting, there are times where I don't really have a lot of time to dedicate too much, time into streaming or something like that. But I try to do it as much as possible, and I try to spend my time, as much as possible to develop my brand and to use my time productively as a freelancer. And I wish I could do a bit more content, but I think that's coming in the future, because Riot is definitely preparing on making more and more interesting content pieces, and not just using us as a caster for the most part. So originally my family was not very supportive, because they didn't really understand the depth that esports had, especially in Korea. And I was kind of on track to, go to college, get a normal job, and my parents liked the safety of that idea. And especially when I first came here, there wasn't a super solid, full-time job that I was delving into. It took a while, like 2-3 years to build up into a real full-time career for me. So understandably, at first they were a little bit apprehensive and scared, but once things began to smooth out and I was able to find full-time work, they were a lot more supportive after that. If it's something you really want, I think taking the risk for a year or so to pursue that opportunity and that lifestyle, I'd say absolutely you have to take that chance. You have to take that risk. You owe it to yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it forever. So now it's 2020. I've been casting for 8 years. I started back in 2012. And I have a great job in my mind. I work very simple, easy schedule. I have a lot of free time. I make decent money, and I'm living in a foreign country that I find to be very convenient and comfortable to live here. And I've made a life for myself. I have a lot of friends and a whole family, essentially, for me here in Korea. But when I first started, I couldn't have really imagined that I would come this far. I just saw the opportunity that was put in front of me, and I said, I have to take this because I want it really badly. In 2012, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to be a 8-year caster extraordinaire that's got this kind of life. I just saw the opportunity to be a fill-in part-time caster and to cast a game that I really loved, and I was just like, I gotta take this opportunity. And so I put my home life on hold. I said, college is gonna have to wait. I was in university, I only did 1 year, and I decided that let's wait on this, because this is just too big of an opportunity, something that I want too much. And after 2012, I actually got fired at the end of the year. They didn't call me back. I didn't get fired, but the season ended, and they found 2 other more experienced commentators, which made sense. But I had already gotten a taste of what it's like to commentate for this esports league, and I loved it. And I was just like, I can't let this go. I have to pursue it. So in 2013, I came back to Korea not to cast. I didn't have a job in front of me. But I came back to learn Korean so that I could begin to solidify my life here in Korea. I had made some friends in broadcasting that said they could give me some part-time work, very low paying. It's not stable at all, but I decided, hey, I can do it on the side while I'm studying Korean, and I can slowly build up a lifestyle of casting. And it wasn't I didn't know that I was going to make it this far and be where I am now, but I just saw the opportunity in front of me, and I decided that I want it too much. I have to go for it. I'm going to take the risk and go for it. And if there's any advice that I can give to anyone who is also considering doing something like this, I would say that a lot of times you're not just going to be given these opportunities. You have to make them for yourself, and you need to work hard to provide yourself with that opportunity. I consider myself pretty lucky that I was able to basically be in the right place at the right time and then jump on the opportunity once it was given to me. But a lot of the times you're not given the opportunity. You have to essentially make it for yourself. And that was me coming back to Korea in 2013, where I was like, I'm gonna have to do this, from the ground up. I'm gonna have to make this work. And I was eventually able to, in 2014, get a full-time job in casting after, building out my resume a little bit more, learning some Korean, and making some more contacts here in Korea. So the main thing is that if it's something you really want, I think taking the risk for a year or so to pursue that opportunity and that lifestyle, I'd say absolutely you have to take that chance. You have to take that risk. You owe it to yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it forever. And if it doesn't work out after that, maybe you can work on a different opportunity, or maybe a different line of work, or something else. There will always be something else. But if there's something you're really passionate about, something you really want to do, and the opportunity is in front of you, or you feel like you can make that opportunity for yourself now, then 100% you have to jump on it. So that would be the biggest advice for me, is to make those opportunities happen and to go for it. So you can find me on my social media. I have Twitter, at Brendan Valdes, and I have a Twitch stream, which is also twitch.tv/Brendan Valdes. Instagram, I believe, is the same. Everything's pretty much Brendan Valdes, and I will see you guys there. I think I just have to freestyle it. All of our casts are freestyle, right?
Yeah.
This is like the main skill that I've developed in my life, is to be a freestyle